Hello everybody! Many people were asking me to make Lightroom tutorials. So in this video, I will tell you some tricks that I use a lot and that maybe you didn't know yet. This is going to be one of many Lightroom tutorials. And actually, if you are interested in a free pack of Lightroom presets, let me know in the comments below. Let's start. Intro. Okay guys, let's start with tip number one, and this is going to be a very nice tip. I mean, I didn't know this exists. I got crazy when I saw it. So we're gonna crop. You can crop coming here to this little square here. You see the square and all these little dots around. Okay, you can do this or press the letter R in your keyboard and you go to the cropping. Now you have this grid that is gonna help you a lot for the rule of thirds. But what happens if you don't want to play with the rule of thirds and you want more help with your composition? This is where the magic is gonna come. Just press the letter O and you'll see what is going to happen. Whoa, you see? It's changing the grid to help you with your composition. And you can keep clicking the letter O until you find everything. You have here also this golden curve, or I think it's the Fibonacci curve. And if you click Shift O, you can invert it. If you click the letter O again, you can see this grid, but with Shift O, you can make it standard. There you go. And then in this grid, you can actually see the sizes, 4x5, 2x3. How would it look like? So you keep pressing the letter O, you go to this grid. That is good to check the horizons or buildings, that everything is straight. You click again and you go back to the main one. So what do you think about it? It's amazing. Just the letter O while you are cropping. For the second tip, now that we're cropping, let's keep talking about cropping. We are here with the original grid, and let's go here to original, and let's see we want for Instagram. So let's choose like 4x5. Okay, still it's 4x5, but you can see that it's in a horizontal position, and in Instagram it's going to be a vertical position. How can you turn the grid? And this is the second tip. Just press the letter X and you'll see what happened. Boom! It just changed the grid, and now you can actually come here and play with this rule of thirds, and you crop it and it's done. You have it for Instagram. So don't forget for the tip 2, the letter X. This tip is really funny because I have so many friends, and all of them that are editing, they know that they can do that, but they never do it. And this is really bad. It's extending your layout. You have to know how to organize your layout, how to extend everything, how to take out some things, hide some things, so you can have a better workflow and a better workspace. So let's do this. We come here, you can see these arrows, and you can actually extend your layout. Why am I extending my layout so much? Because when I'm working here, I'm actually playing with these tools and sliding them from the right to the left, from the left to the right, and the problem is that it's very small. This layout is very narrow. Now that I have it wider, I can do that in a very detailed way. You see, very detailed. I can go to 0.03. That's crazy. So I always extend this to make my workspace better. So this is a very good tip. But now that we're extending and trying to make our workspaces better, we can come here to these arrows and just hide these parts that we're not using. So now we have a better workspace. You have this that is very good in white, so you can actually slide everything perfectly, and you have just the picture, so you can start editing. Now for tip number 4, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here in the exposure so I can show you exactly what is going to happen. Let's press the letter J, and everything that is in red is clipping. If we go to the opposite side, let's go here, like not that much, maybe there. We press J and we can see that on the bottom, all of these are pure blacks. This is where it's clipping. This is where the picture is clipping, and we don't want that either. So this is a good start, so you know exactly in which places you can work. In this case, in this picture, if we have the picture exactly how it was and we press J, you cannot see any clipping there. You think that the picture is good, but I want you to check here in this part. You know what? I'm gonna zoom it in. Check in this part. This little part over here, when I press J, it becomes blue, as you can see. It's little blues all over. So actually, this is something you couldn't see, but it was there. And maybe if I come here on the top, it's gonna happen the same. It's gonna be red. So it was like also clipping. So this is a very good start. So use the letter J and start fixing your picture. Now this tip is basically something that I always do. Every time I start editing, the first thing I do is cropping, and the second thing is going to the curves. But in this case, I'm gonna go to the curves in a different way. Let's actually close basic, let's go to curves. And this is the first thing I do for editing. I go to the curves, but this now is selected as this one over here, the white one. Everything that you do here is going to be applied for the whole picture. But when I'm doing editing of landscapes, when I'm editing these kind of pictures with mountains and nature, all this landscape photography, I always do the RGB curves. I don't use this one that is going to touch all this picture. So let's go here and let's start with the red. So I'm going to do an S curve in every single color, in these 3 colors, the RGB, okay? So we start with the red. Let's do the 3 dots over here, and let's give a little contrast to the picture, just a little bit. But let's try to create an S, a nice S, okay? Always in the midtones, I'm gonna put them a little bit here in the middle. There you go. Now you can see that the picture is kind of reddish, but don't worry, as soon as we keep going with the RGB, with all these 3 colors, everything's gonna get better. So now we click here, we click here, we click here. Let's create this curve. I always like the midtones like a little bit in the center. I'm not adding much. And then the curve here a little bit, and I think on the bottom I can add a little bit more. There you go. Now it's getting better, but still now it's like greenish. Let's go to the blue and let's finish with this. And there you go. Look at the picture. It's much better, and we're just starting to edit. We didn't finish the editing, we're just starting. So this is actually the first thing I do when I start to edit landscape. Always the curves, and I do just the RGB colors over here. And if you want to see how it was before and how it is now, let's come here and I'll show you. This is how we started, and look how it is, just making these little adjustments in the curves. And this tip is gonna save you a lot of time. Every time you want to see how the picture is, the before and the after, normally you come here like I did at the beginning of this tutorial, and I press Y and Y, and you can see how it was and how it is the picture right now. But there is another way. Let's come back to the picture, and all of these tips are actually to help you with your workflow to be faster in editing. Just press the backslash, not the normal slash, but the backslash. There you go. This was before, and then you release the backslash, and this is after. Click the backslash, this is before and this is after. It's so cool. So look what is going to happen when I press the letter L. It's isolating the picture. You can still see something here and something around here, but you isolate the picture so you can see how is your editing going. And if you press again the letter L the second time, isolate it completely. Isn't that cool? Now you press the letter L again and you come back to the screen. This is so cool. This is my last tip for today, but if you want more tips, just let me know in the comments.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget that if you are interested in a free pack with presets for Lightroom, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to support me, I'm leaving you a link in the description where you can actually support me buying me a coffee. Until next time.